Hari Om. In today's lesson, we will carry on with chapter 11 from verse number 11. So, what we have seen so far is that Arjuna has um, requested the Lord to show him his universal form, Vishwarupam. And the Lord has blessed Arjuna with divine vision. That is in verse number 8. So he has blessed Arjuna with divine vision because he says to Arjuna that with your two physical eyes you cannot see my universal form. So then the Lord blesses Arjuna with Divya Chakshu. Divya is divine, Chakshu is vision. And as I've explained, the divine vision is has to do with the mind, because the Lord is everywhere around. He is in the whole creation. But why is the devotee not able to recognize or experience the presence of the Lord in this creation? It's because the mind is polluted with ego, anger, desire. The mind is also not single-pointed, and the mind is devoid of spiritual knowledge. So when the Lord says to Arjuna that I will give you this divine vision, what he means to say is, I will purify your mind, I will make your mind single-pointed so that you are able to experience me in this creation. So the world is not going to change. It is Arjuna's inner vision, purity of mind. He's looking at the same world now with a new vision. So when the Lord blessed Arjuna with this divine vision, Arjuna must have been wonderstruck to suddenly have this new experience of seeing the presence of the Lord everywhere. So from verse number 9, Sanjaya takes over the commentary up to verse number 14. So from verse number 9 to 14, Sanjaya starts to comment on what Arjuna is experiencing, and we have covered verses 9 and 10 last week. Let us proceed now with verse number 11. So what Sanjaya is now describing that universal form of the Lord. He says Ambara. So the word Ambara here means garments. And Sanjaya says that the garments the Lord is wearing, there are many, many, many garments. And Malyam are the garlands. So there are many garments, clothing, and there are many garlands, flowers. And we should understand that it is not that the Lord is wearing various types of garments, but basically what it means is that everywhere where you see people wearing garments, that is the appearance of the Lord, that is the presence of the Lord. And wherever you see garlands, on whoever we put the garlands, that is also where the Lord is present. So whether we garland any person or we garland a deity, wherever the garland is, it reflects the existence or the presence of the deity. Next, Sanjaya says about the Vishwarupam, Anulepanam. The Lord is smeared with lots of gandha, which are perfumes, which are fragrances. So everywhere, wherever we smell this fragrance, this perfumes, it is also reflective of where the Lord is present. So wherever there are people wearing garments, wherever there are garlands being put, wherever there is fragrant smell, everything connects with the Lord. A devotee connects with the Lord through the experience of all his senses. Where before the eyes only saw a garland, now the same inner vision, with the change in the inner vision, when the eye sees a garland, the mind immediately recognizes the presence of it, the Lord. And he says the Lord is also Vishwataha on all sides, Mukham, his face is on every side, facing north, south, east, west. So, meaning that wherever the people are, whether a person faces north, south, east, west, wherever the people are facing, that person again represents the presence of the Lord. The Lord is there in that person who is facing north. The Lord is there in that person who's facing south. Everywhere the Lord is there. And therefore, the Lord is Anantam, limitless, infinite, as whose limit cannot be known or seen. Why? Because He is all pervading, He is everywhere. Even far away galaxies which are not visible to the common eye, the Lord also exists there. The entire universe, the Lord resides there. In the Purusha Sukta hymn in the Rig Veda, there is a verse that says, all part of the Vishwa Bhutani, limitless creation, everything which we can see in creation, which we can experience in creation, is but one pada, that is one part only, 1/4. 3/4 of Him is the divine part, which is the immortal part, which cannot be experienced. So what we are experiencing only is 1/4 of that totality of the divine vision. And then he goes on to say, Vishwarupa is also full of many ascharya, wonders, because wherever we see a rainbow, wherever we see what we call a sunrise or a sunset, every wonder should connect the devotee's mind to the presence of the Lord. Now, verse number 12 is a very famous verse in the Gita, which describes the very effulgence of the Lord. So, as we know, even to see the sun directly in the morning, we are not able to withstand the brightness. So brilliant is that one sun alone, even though it is millions and millions of miles away. But the Lord's brilliance is even more greater than the sun. So Sanjaya gives an allegory to explain the totality of the brilliance of the Lord. In the Kathopanishad also, there's a very beautiful verse which is used as a prayer verse during the arti in the temples. And the verse goes like this: Na tatra surya bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tam eva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasha sarvam idam vibhati. Na tat surya bhati, where the sun does not shine, na chandra, neither the moon, na tarakam, neither the stars, nema vidyuto bhanti, kutoyam, nema vidyuto bhanti, where the lightning also doesn't shine, kutoyam agnihi, what more to speak of a simple fire. So where even the sun doesn't shine, the moon doesn't shine, lightning doesn't shine, what more to speak of a normal fire? Tam eva bhantam anubhati sarvam, that shining, that effulgence of the Lord makes everything else shine. So everything shines because of the effulgence of the Lord. Tasya bhasha sarvam idam vibhati. By virtue of your brilliance, everything here is illumined. And this is sometimes used in an arti because in the traditional temples, the deity is kept in a sanctum which is dark. So in the evening when the arti is offered, the light of the arti reveals the vision of the deity in the darkness. And this verse says that, that this light is there to help us to illumine you, for us to see you. But actually in reality, the Lord's effulgence is greater than all the shining objects in the world. So in chapter 15 of the Bhagavad Gita, verse 6 or so, there is a similar verse along this Kathopanishad. So now Sanjaya is describing the effulgence of the Lord. He says, suppose Baha, the brilliance, let's imagine, Sanjaya says, the Baha or the brilliance of Sahasra, thousands of what? Surya. So Sanjaya is saying, we know the brilliance of one sun, but just imagine the brilliance of thousands of suns. Utita, that means they arise. Imagine 1,000 suns arising, yugapat, simultaneously, all at once. So Sanjay is saying, just imagine the brilliance when 1,000 suns arise simultaneously. Interestingly, Robert Oppenheimer, when he witnessed the explosion of the first atom bomb, quoted this verse and also chapter 11, verse 32. So we can only imagine the brilliance of the Lord by imagining the brilliance of 1,000 suns shining forth all at once. So Sanjay says that can perhaps be compared to the brilliance of the Lord. He says Mahatma, here the word Mahatma refers to the Vishwarupa. Okay, Mahatma, the Lord with the infinite body. So the brilliance of the Lord can be compared to the brilliance of 1,000 suns arising simultaneously. So he says the brilliance of the Lord is equal to the Sadrisi, is similar to these 1,000 suns. So here Sanjaya has described the very brilliance of the Lord. In verse number 13, Sanjaya continues to give the description. So two more verses, 13 and 15, and then from verse 15, Arjuna will resume his description of the Vishwarupa. So here in verse number 13, Sanjaya describes the infinite body of the Lord, which is like infinite space. So he says Krishnam. Krishnam means the entire Jagata, the entire universe. What did Arjuna see? He saw the entire creation, the entire universe, ekastam, in one place. That means he saw everything in one. He saw it in the body, the infinite body of the Lord. So actually what he was experiencing, everything is nothing but the Lord. Wherever he turned his eyes, whatever he could see, connected him to the Lord. And what type of universe did Arjuna see? What was he experiencing? Aneka, a divided universe, because there are so many shapes, size, form, colors in the universe. But to Arjuna, that same divided universe he was seeing as one. Diversity in unity. So Aneka, many levels. Okay, that means human creation, insects, animals, trees, etc. And where did he see all this? He saw this in the sarire, in the body of the Deva, in the body of the Lord. So everything to him was part and parcel of that divinity. So, and at that time, Tada Pandava, at that time, when, what does Sanjaya mean when he says Tada? At that time, Pandava referring to Arjuna, when the Lord blessed Arjuna with the Divya Chakshu, Sanjaya says this is what Arjuna was experiencing. So now in this verse 14, Sanjaya will conclude his what you call description of the Vishwarupa, and then Arjuna will take over. So as I want to emphasize again, the world is not changing, the world does not change. It is the devotee who has been purified looking at the same world with a new vision. Just like Ravan saw Rama, Rama was divine, but Ravan saw Rama with only through the mind or through the eyes of hatred. But the devotee sees the same Lord Rama and it invokes a sense of devotion and love in him. So it all comes back to the state of the mind. So now let us look at verse number 14. He says, Tatha, then. What does he mean by Tatha then? When Arjuna was gifted with this vision, what was his emotion? So Sanjaya says he was avishtaha, he was filled with vishmaya, with wonder, with great, what we call reverence, with great emotions, with great love and devotion. The same world didn't change, but now with Arjuna's new vision, the vision of seeing the God, of seeing the Lord everywhere, made him filled with wonder, vishmaya. And Sanjaya goes on to describe the physical change in Arjuna also, not only at the mental level but at physical level. He says, Rishta Roma. Roma means Arjuna's hairs were Rishta, they were standing. Now, if you recall this same description of Arjuna's hair standing, if you go back to chapter 1, verse 29, at that time also Arjuna's hair was also standing. The word used was Roma Harshas, hair standing on end. But there, the cause of Arjuna's hair standing on end was different. In that place, Arjuna's hair was standing on end because of the fear of fighting and causing the death of his beloved ones. So in chapter 1, his hair was standing out of fear because he couldn't bring himself up to go into the battle and kill his beloved people. But now Arjuna's hair is standing in wonder of seeing the whole world as nothing but the Lord. That oneness in the whole creation is his. And what does Arjuna do when he is overcome with this emotion? His hair is standing on end. He is filled with wonder. He respectfully pranamya. He bows down. So there's a prefix pra to indicate that he bowed down with intense respect and devotion. With the sudden change and transformation, when somebody realizes the presence of the Lord everywhere, so this is what the emotion that made Arjuna bow down. Bow down what? Sirasa, his head. Okay, he bowed down his head, Devam, to the Lord. He bowed down his head, Pranamya, Sirasa, bowed down his head to the Lord. That means to Krishna who was standing in front of him. And then what else did he do? Kritanjalir. Kritanjalir means joining the two hands, the two palms together as a form of salutation. So Kritanjalir means the palms joined together. Now this Kritanjalir, actually the two palms joined together, whenever we go and pray, we put our two palms together, is a very powerful mudra actually. It is called the Anjali Mudra. So whenever we bring the two palms together, it is a form of a mudra known as Anjali Mudra, and it's a very powerful mudra to calm the mind. It connects the mind and the intellect. Now that Arjuna has regained his composure, so he puts his two hands together, bows down to the Lord, and Abhasata, he says the following words. So now let us imagine that state of Arjuna, that the reverence, the devotion is going through, the amazement of having this divine vision. Bows down to Krishna, puts his hands together, and this is what he speaks. So Sanjaya has now introduced that state of Arjuna's mind, and now we will see from verse 15 onwards Arjuna himself describing that Vishwarupa. And here also from verse 15 you must notice that the meter, the recitation meter changes. Whereas previously it was in 4 lines of 8 syllables, from verse 15 it changes to 4 lines of 11 syllables. So it's a different, this is what Vyasa, when he wants to emphasize on something, he sometimes changes the meter. Okay, so from verse 15 to verse 31, that's the new meter that is used, and Arjuna sings the glories of Vishwarupa. And in these verses 15 to 31, he goes through what we call three different emotional responses. The first stage is Vishmaya or Ascharya. Ascharya means he sees everything as a wonder. He sees the Lord everywhere and he is thrilled beyond amazement and wonder. So the first response is Vishmaya, or seeing everything as a wonder. Now, what we call, so that is the first emotion that we will see. And then later on, he'll go through two different emotions. So now Arjuna is speaking now. He says, Deva, O Lord, Dehe, in your body. I am seeing in your body. What am I seeing? Pashyami, I am seeing all the varieties of the Devas, all the various gods. So Devans, the Deva, the word is Lord in singular. What is Arjuna seeing? In that one singular body, he's seeing all the Devans, which is plural. All the varieties of Devas who are in charge of the various aspects of the creation. So what Arjuna is saying is basically every Deva, every deity is actually part and parcel of that one supreme being. Ultimately, there's only one supreme being, Brahman, who expresses his powers through various different Devas. So this is what Arjuna is realizing now also. And he says, Tatha, also, what do I see? I see Bhuta. Bhuta means the beings, the various beings, moving, non-moving, Vishesha of different species, from the very smallest insect to the gigantic elephant, everything, to even the planets. Samgan, the multitude of all the different things in this creation, he is also seeing everything as part and parcel of the Vishwarupa. And what else does Arjuna see in this vision? He sees Brahmanam, that is Lord Brahma, the four-faced Brahma, and he is described by Arjuna as Isham. Isham here means the creator or the origin of all. As we know, Lord Brahma is the what we call in charge of all creation. And in what way does he see Lord Brahma? He sees Lord Brahma in Kamala, in the lotus asanam. He's sitting in the lotus. Because we've seen in the Puranas that it is said that Brahman, Lord Brahma was born out of Lord Vishnu's navel, and he's depicted, Lord Brahma is depicted as sitting in the center of the lotus flower. And who is the creator of Lord Brahma? It is no other than Brahman. So Brahma is a power of Brahma, is the creator, is a power of that supreme Brahman. So Arjuna is also seeing the creator, the one who started the whole creation. And what else does he see? He says, I see Sarvans, I see all the rishis. Rishis here are all the what we call sages and saints who appeared at the time of creation. Okay, and in chapter 10 also we were told about the Sapta Rishis, the first original Rishis who came first. So Brahma created the Rishis, and then from there the whole creation came. And there are the names of these Rishis mentioned there, and also many other Rishis who came after that. What else does Arjuna see? He sees Uragams. Uragams are serpents. But he says all these serpents are divyan, they are divine. So he says, I can see all the divine serpents like Vasuki, like Ananta, which were also described in chapter 10. So just keep in mind, Vishwarupam, this divine vision that Arjuna is having, is not seeing extraordinary things, but seeing the ordinary world itself as extraordinary. So the world remains ordinary, but the change in vision, one experiences the same ordinary world as extraordinary. And then we go on to verse number 16 as Arjuna carries on describing this Vishwarupa. So, he's, what else does he see? He says, Pashyami, I see Tvam, you, O Lord. How does he see the Lord? He sees him with many bahu, many arms. I see you with many, many arms. Udaram, I see you with many, many stomachs. Vaktram, I see you with many faces, many mouths. Netram, with many, many eyes. Again, we must not make the mistake to imagine that the Lord himself has got thousands of hands, thousands of eyes, thousands of stomachs. No. What it means is that everywhere where you see a human being, that is the presence of the Lord. So wherever there are hands, wherever there are eyes, wherever there are stomachs, that indicates that the Lord is present there. So we have to keep this especially in mind. And then he says, Anantam, infinite Rupam. O Lord, you have limitless forms, that you can appear in any form, because everywhere that you see a form, whether it is moving or not moving, it indicates the presence of the Lord. So when we look at the limitless forms, that means wherever we see a tree, we see a cow, we see a human being, it indicates the presence of the Lord, Ananta Rupam. And what else does he see? Now, the thing is, now when the Lord is infinite, he is everywhere. So the question comes, where is the beginning, where is the end, where is the middle? So here Arjuna says, Tava, your Adhim, where is your beginning? Madhyam, where is your middle? Anta, where is your end? I do not know. Because since your forms are infinite, limitless, I do not know where is your beginning, where is your end, where is your middle. So Anantam here refers to the earlier, in fact, Anantam was there to refer to limitless forms, and also here it means limitless refers to in terms of space, because everywhere you see the Lord. Where there is a form, you see the Lord. Where there is no form, also you experience the presence of the Lord. So now Arjuna says, Vishveshvara, O Lord of the universe, Vishwarupa, O Lord whose body is the universe. Vishwarupam. So Vishvam Eva Rupam Shariram Yasya. Yasya, the one whose Shariram, the body, is the Rupam or the form of Vishwam, the world itself. Vishwam Eva Rupam Shariram Yasya. So this is what Arjuna is describing. And then we come to verse number 17. Here Arjuna says, Lord, I pashyami tvam. I see you, what? Wearing a kiritinam, a diadem. Kiritinam, which a diadem is a jewel crown, which is worn by what we call, by only certain respected people. So of the devas and all, you can see them, like some of the gods and all, they wear this kiritinam, which is a jewel crown. And I see you wielding a gada, a mace. So the Lord has a jewel crown, he has got a gada, a mace, and chakra, a disc. So just like all the eyes of all the people, all the heads of all the people, all the eyes of all the people are only indicating the presence of the Lord. In the same way, understand this, now Arjuna is on the battlefield. He's seeing various kings who are wearing the what we call the jewel crown. He's seeing various warriors who are holding weapons. So he says, wherever I see someone wearing a crown, wherever I see a weapon, I see your presence there. Okay, it is not that Lord is holding so many weapons, but whoever is holding a weapon, Lord sees, Arjuna sees the presence of the Lord there. So he says, O Lord, you are Tejo Rasim, you are the effulgence. Your effulgence is Deepti Mantam, it is shining bright. Sarvato, all over. I see your effulgence shining bright all over. Why? Because it is because of the Lord's effulgence that everything else is shining. So wherever Arjuna sees brilliance or anything shining, he recognizes that as the presence of the Lord. And he says, your effulgence is so glaring, I am finding it very difficult. Durniriksham, I find it difficult to look at you, Samantha, on all sides, because your brilliance is coming from every direction. So the Lord whose effulgence is like, he describes this effulgence, Arjuna describes this effulgence as Deepta Analam, blazing fire. Not just Deepta means blazing, Anala means fire. So it is not just a normal fire, it is a blazing fire. And what is it like? Arka. The word Arka here represents the blazing sun. So your brilliance is like the blazing fire of the sun itself. Dyuti means effulgence. Apremeyam, it is immeasurable. Nothing in this creation can compare to your effulgence, O Lord, because your effulgence is a combination of everything that shines here on this earth. So with this, we will stop at verse number 17 and we will resume the next lesson with verse number 18. Hari Om Tat Sat.